So Destiny, do you remember when you started, what year it was that you started with AAI?
January 9th, 2018 to be exact.
There you have it.
Very proud of that date.
Good. What were you doing before that?
I worked in a elderly home, assisted living, actually, in
Okay.
Lower Lake.
And how long were you doing that for?
I only worked there for about 3 months.
What kind of prompted you to apply at AAI?
I was looking for something that not only was scientific, because that's the field I was going into, and helping others, but it involved children. And that was my primary goal.
Okay.
A bigger prompt for myself was my brother's on the spectrum.
Okay.
So to be able to get in and learn, I figured, even if I learned a little bit, you know, and then I'd be happy. So, but of
Yeah.
course, it took me farther.
There you go,
Fell
right?
in love.
Yeah, there you go. When you first came to AAI, were you involved in education at all?
Yes.
What were you doing at that point in time?
Studying human services. I
Okay.
was on my way to work in social work.
Ah, okay. Okay. And was that an associate's program or?
Yes, I was working on my associates.
Okay. Okay. So then January 9th, you joined AAI. What did you think about, coming on board after you had your first interview?
I was extremely nervous. I felt like I was with these group of individuals that had way more knowledge than I had. And to be quite honest, I was a little intimidated, but I'm very stubborn. So I was like, I'm going to do whatever I can to win this race. Because when I did apply, it said the best candidate will get the job.
Yep.
So I wasn't sure if that meant I was hired on with somebody. So I wasn't sure if we were kind of like neck and neck or what that meant. So, and I wasn't going to ask, I was just going to do what was needed to
Okay.
win.
And what was kind of your onboarding like?
I had a lot of, what am I trying to say?
There's no right or wrong, Destiny.
No, I know. I felt like I was being taught a lot day to day. I was learning more and more, and a lot of repetitiveness, which helped a lot because I was not comprehending a lot of it.
Okay.
At first, it was challenging.
So what was the requirement? So in AAI, you came on, you had to do your 40-hour training. Or did you have some field work that you were doing before you sat for your exam?
Yeah, I think it was 3 months, correct?
Yep.
3 months, and then we hopped into it.
Do you want to talk about the process of preparing for and getting through the exam?
It was very hectic,
Okay.
a little stressful.
Mhm.
For myself, I don't do very well. I get very high anxiety when it comes to test taking, especially in an environment that I'm not in.
Yeah.
So I felt like once I'm there, I'm not going to have those that are here to help me as they have been.
Yep.
So, and then once I got there, of course, I failed my first one.
Okay.
So,
But I've seen far too many people get to that point and have this idea of a failure and how, negative, if you will, that can seem, where it's like, oh, I guess that's it. I'm going to turn around and go, explore something else. What type of support structures did you get from, some of your coworkers, or what type of things were helpful for you?
so I'm a visual learner, and Junie, how amazing she is. Um, this office, when it was hers,
Yeah.
had white papers on every single wall, and we took all those notes, and she went over and over them. And I remember eating my lunch having her teach me.
Yeah. I remember hearing that, Destiny, and I remember coming into the office and seeing papers, all big poster papers all over the place, and sticky notes and all kinds of stuff with all kinds of content up there on that wall supporting you.
Yeah, it was helpful.
Well, seeing those types of things, to be able to have that type of support structure inside your employment place, and people taking time during their work day to support you, in doing it like Junie did, with excitement. It's just it hits heavy right in the core of the old heart right there, of appreciation and thankfulness for the type of people we get to be
Yeah,
around.
I could definitely say she is my backboard. Even to this day, I'll be creating my operational definitions and I'm sending them her way, like, hey, can you check this out? And just little things like that. And she's very supportive.
It's beautiful. I absolutely love hearing it. And I know equally when I have those moments and get to talk to her, or when I shared about this moment, right, of celebration of you with her, she was probably as excited as you are, and proud of you. So you went through the first process. It didn't go the way you necessarily hoped. And then what was the next step after that?
Before I came back, I didn't want to show up, to be quite honest. I was really ashamed. I felt like I had everybody do all this work and help me out. And I felt like I not only failed myself, but I failed their support and their time.
Okay.
And then I actually think the second time is when Junie put all those papers up. So the first time was those packets of paper. The second time was the papers. And I felt that. And then I think it was you that brought up the ABA rocks. And I love that one. That was I think that was it. But then Kyla helped me get those flashcards going.
Yeah.
And that helped a lot too, because it's more like random rotation. It's not being used to one specific answer, a pattern. And then you remember that pattern, you throw it out, random rotation. And,
That's right.
that was helpful in a matching game too. You could create a matching game.
Awesome. Good. And then what happened?
I failed. But I moved up 2 points. However, it says on there, I moved up 2 points. I was a little proud.
You were smiling then.
Yeah. But at that point, I did actually reconsider employment. I did think like, this isn't for me. Nobody in the company had failed twice. And so I was like, maybe this really isn't for me.
Yeah. And do you remember when you and I sat down?
Yeah.
And you went through it and you fought the fight and you got through?
I felt so happy, so relieved. I felt like I could have potential.
As difficult as it probably was for you to come in and show your face, right, out of your own kind of ego, and feeling maybe a little bit of like letting people down or whatever. But when the shoe's on the other foot, it's like it doesn't, it's like, it's okay. We got your back. You got this. Let's do it. And all of us were able to see the work you were doing and how incredible the work was, and that your heart was all in. And it's that stuff, right? I mean, we may not always accomplish our goals the first time around, but the people that succeed are the ones that can navigate those hardships, can navigate it. I mean, that's the story over and over and over and over again.
Yep. Got to mold those broken stones to lead that path again.
That's exactly right. And so that experience that you went to, Destiny, from my take and from me being able to reflect on my path and my failures, it is those moments that provide me with more content to share with other people when they go through those moments, which becomes I'm a stronger advocate for that person, or a stronger back support, if you will, if that person wants that, and if their heart is in that space. And I love the fact that you got that stuff, and you're always going to have that extra strength that you can share with others, as in all kinds of different aspects of life, not just acquiring your RBT certification. It's all kinds of stuff. It's really, I get, I'm so proud of being able to observe and see, and to whatever extent be a part of those types of moments. So you passed the RBT, you came on in, got back to work, and what was going on at that particular time with schooling for you?
I think I was getting closer to receiving my associates,
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
It was quite some time ago, but yeah, I believe it was actually because it was 2019, I believe. It took me, a while to get that third exam. I believe I passed it in January of the
Okay.
following year.
Yep.
And so I was still, I was about 5 months shy from receiving my associate's degree.
Okay. And where were you going at that time?
Woodland Community College and Mendocino as well. I was commuting a lot,
It's a lot of work.
3 days a week. I
Yeah.
wasn't getting home until almost 10 o'clock at night sometimes.
It's really something.
It was very hard.
And you got a whole family at home.
Yeah,
You got a
very
lot of.
supportive too.
No, you're lucky. It does take a team, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. What was the evolution of your schooling from Woodland and Mendocino? Where'd you go from there?
Um, well, I had to start weighing my options and seeing what I really wanted to do because I was on the fence. Do I want to continue something that I've always wanted to do, which was social work, or did I want to hop into ABA where I'm already here, I'm learning it, I have support, a great team behind me, but I also didn't want to throw that dream down the drain. But then
Okay.
I really started thinking more and more, and I decided to go to Purdue.
Okay. So just for a moment, Destiny, why did you pick Purdue?
Um,
I know it's a
the
silly question.
convenience, the
Okay.
convenience, and not only that, I had support here to help guide me to learn some things. Like Natasha was already there. Jess, I think no, Jess had already left, but there was a couple people that were already attending, and they were able to help guide me through some stuff. So I felt like I wasn't in it alone.
Okay. And just for the sake of this moment, AAI is connected with Purdue, and that was kind of that's how, when you say it was kind of easy, if you will, is the convenience,
Yes,
as our
exactly.
organization was established, and we had some team members that were already going there.
Yeah.
So with that process, with other people that you work with that go there, was there did that add a support structure for you through your academics at all, or do you still feel as though you're kind of on your own doing this thing, but it's just nice to know that others are there too?
No, full support. Navigating a whole new system and a university for
Yeah.
one, especially online,
Yeah.
was my fear, but I was able to reach out and say, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Can you help me with some steps to find it? And I was able to get that feedback that I needed.
I smile because it's, again, one of those core value systems that we really believe in here as a group of this, team. What are we doing here? If there's ways that we can kind of bring each other together to help each other navigate through whatever it may be to get to the other side, so be it. So let's do our best to do it. So when I hear about those moments, and I remember hearing about those moments of this collaboration with one another, or being able to have, hey, I've got some basic kind of enrollment questions that maybe I want to ask someone I'm familiar with versus like an administrator from the university. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what is it about ABA that excites you?
I mean, it's everywhere. Once I realized that these aren't just something that somebody made up in a handbook. I mean, it's something that it's a law. It's been proven. It's each step is our life. Every little thing is chained together in certain aspects. And there's that one response we're looking for in the end.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense. And I was like, I just fell in love with ABA.
So you shifted, you went in, you're sold on ABA, start at Purdue. So now you're working, and how's work life? what is it like for you? Like working with kids, running targets, running lessons, working with families, the challenges that come with it, the successes. How's that for you?
I was definitely going to say there are some challenges. I think the best part though is definitely seeing the children progress. Sometimes the pairing is hard too because you're there putting that demand, but to hear like, hey, my kiddo was standing at the door waiting for me to come in is amazing. It's such a big motivator to get up in the morning to go to work.
And when I first started doing ABA is when I got access to the reinforcement of this work at a level that I did not ever get elsewhere. I was able to objectively contend with the reality that this work that I put in resulted in a mastery of that skill that's being generalized and is improving an entire home's day.
I could definitely agree with that.
When you know that you helped a kiddo tell his mom that I love you for the first time, and that the kid who, when you first showed up, was having some significant difficulties in their functional engagement, or independent play skills or communication skills were, no disrespect, but pretty limited. And then you come in, Destiny, and next thing you know, they're waiting for you at the door and you're putting pluses on your data sheet.
Yeah.
It's your work. You did that. How do I ask this question? At AAI, I've always celebrated stop for a moment, look in the mirror and pat yourself on the back. And others should be doing that to help you do that too. Do you recognize that that's happened throughout your time here at AAI, that kind of opportunity to celebrate the work that you do?
Yes. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't until recently.
Okay. So tell me about that.
To recognize, it is hard, I think, for everyone to actually recognize their qualities. And, we often beat ourselves up about the things that we fell in or what we could do better in. But to actually know that when I got that scholarship, it made me realize like I am in the right place. I am going somewhere. I have a good spot with the company. I'm going, I just felt tremendously better. And I think that was kind of my wake up call. Like, I'm going to walk around and hold my head up because I have the right to. And I think often I just didn't want to sound like, oh, I'm doing this, but not doing it. I don't know how to even explain that, but I am doing this.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go anywhere.
Well, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, as a whole collective commitment to one another in terms of professional development and helping each other, achieve whatever those dreams may be, if we're possible to do it. That's the stuff that I love talking about. And when I talk like that, that can come across as secondary to our clinical work. But I believe that if we can focus on that stuff together, look what you got, what you have. Look where you're at.
Empowering it is.
You mentioned something just now about a scholarship. What the heck's that all about?
To be quite honest, I didn't know. I didn't apply.
Okay.
And so I had to do some research. My financial aid was being a little weird. So I called them like, hey, what is this number? Because it was a pretty big number on there. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. I'm used to waiting for like a Pell Grant or something. And they said, you got a scholarship. From here on out, your school's paid 100% in full. And I'm like, what? So I tell my husband, like, hey, this is happening. I mean, it's nice to know that there's these I won't have a loan anymore. And it was a Tuesday, actually. I was so excited. Like, it set my entire week and day off differently. But then I got back into that spot where I'm like, there's a hidden agenda. There's something behind it.
Okay.
And I know that's just something that I'm working on,
Okay.
But then when I made a call again, just to clarify, because I'm like, I got to get somebody else on the phone. And sure enough, she said, yeah, 100% paid in full. And I started crying again. And it just felt Felt amazing.
And what do you think? Did they give you any insight as to why you received that scholarship?
Um, High GPA,
Okay.
maintaining high grades. So
Yep.
I think once you get up there, and you stay there at that level, every term I'm getting either a Chandler's List, making Chandler's List, or I
Yep.
think that's the top one.
Okay.
So I was maintaining it, and I think it's called a merit scholarship, and they actually nominate people who are low on the financial brackets
Yep.
and that are actually working hard to achieve things, and they recognize that.
I'm so proud of you, Destiny.
Thank you.
I mean, you don't need to hear it from me. You don't need to hear it from others because, like you said, you get to kind of contend with it. You got this, and you earned it, and you should be. My goodness, just patting yourself right on the back. It's really outstanding. Rarely do those moments, happen for people, and you got it. And I know you fought hard, and you
It
deserve it.
feels like a dream come true.
Well, quite. I mean, I don't think it's too far off from that, really, is it?
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking. Your financial aid is being paid.
yeah.
You like doing this work. It's where you want to go. It's kind of a cake and eat it too scenario. Not to put words in your mouth, but
Thank you.
so what's next for you? How much longer do you got for schooling?
I believe it says for my bachelor's is November, and then um I want to say what a master's program is, a year and a half to two. I know I just from my little bit of reading, it says they start you off with only one class for the first term and see if you're able to do more.
Right.
However, you have that option depending on what your grade looks like. So if I maintain this, once I hit that master's program and I want to start off with two classes, I can because I've
Yep.
earned the right to.
And then you'll have to start getting your BCBA supervision.
Yeah,
Then you got to start digging into Cooper continue digging into Cooper and get yourself ready
I
for.
love that book. Are you talking about the book?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
refer to Cooper et al. All the time.
Bible. Yep.
2020.
There you go. There it is.
Yep,
Awesome.
I need to actually buy those.
Yeah. Destiny, what would you want to tell a new, potential RBT coming on board? What do you think it's coming into AAI? What do you think is some valuable insight you could share?
Not only take a lot of notes, but observe. Observation, I think. And if I would have, I know you probably told us that at the beginning, observe. However, I can express that observing and watching is the most helpful thing. And if it's not today, that it's not, accomplished, tomorrow is another day.
It's awesome.
Goals don't end in one day. They don't. It takes time.
Yeah, I like
If
this.
you're willing to put the time in.
Yep. It seems those goals are always moving too. They always go a little bit further out of reach because motivated to succeed, and you're gonna keep getting little bits and pieces, keep chipping off bits and pieces, and redefining what those goals are as we move forward.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep you too long because I know we've got things to do here. I said about an hour. In terms of working at AAI, do you have any thoughts that you'd like to share in terms of, what you've experienced, what it means to be working at AAI, and kind of our community, if you will?
Kind of like our culture.
Yeah.
Definitely warming. We put in a lot of support, and very empathetic, and that listening skill, I didn't have that when I first started here. I'm not gonna lie.
I love hearing about the listening skills. Yeah.
Yeah, that has definitely improved, and just knowing that the team has got your back and are willing to support you along your career path is more than I could have ever asked for. I'm really happy I put the application in here. And I have my 2-hour interview with Sherry.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, like, oh, Brian, this, and I was so nervous to meet you. And then once I got in there, I was like, oh man, Sherry was the tough one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's been quite a journey, Destiny. You've been with us for a long, long time, and you've seen a lot of the transitions and the growth that we've gone through. Um, how has our growth impacted you in any way?
I was nervous. I
Yep.
was very nervous when you first opened the office in Vermont.
Yep.
Um, but I was
Oh
really
yeah.
concerned, like, are we going to be closing? You know, but once
Yep.
we started learning more, I felt very happy, like, oh, we're expanding. This means so many more opportunities, not for only us, but the community itself and so many others. Yeah,
That's
it's hard to come across ABA agencies that not only help you to learn and grow, but have your back ultimately in the end. Um, I hear that from my mom, you know, in
yep.
Woodland, because my brother received services. He doesn't anymore,
Okay.
but to hear, and it was really hard not to like put my feedback in there because of the ethics, but
Yeah.
I was like, man, you know, we are, I guess, privileged to, in this community, it is privileged to have AI.
You know, it was a big concern and a fear from, you know, day one with the notion of growth, knowing that our core value systems and our culture was paramount in observing so many other organizations grow and lose touch with, or maybe not even have it in the get-go, but those belief systems were valuable from day one. And I only hope with the deepest of my heart that we've been able to nurture those and hopefully even empower them even more with our growth. So your feedback is extremely valuable, being someone who's not only accomplished so much, but has really witnessed what we've gone through as a group of people. You know, our support structures for one another are extremely dense, right? A lot of other organizations have BCBAs that have, you know, can have 50 cases or more. I know that. And, you know, bonuses can be based off from the more billable hours that they do and things like that. And we don't do anything like that. Our caseloads are small so that we can support each other. We're not a big revenue generating group. We're not. Everything goes back in because I believe that you are going to accomplish your goals. And down the road, when that time frame happens, we get to sit and have these types of conversations. And it's that stuff that is valuable to me. And the people that are inside here seem to amplify that and appreciate that kind of approach on things.
I would agree too, definitely. In order to be successful, you've got to have that,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, it's people like you, Destiny, that keep us alive and well as a group of people, and that set a functionally solid foundation and support structure for new people to come on in. And I'm not naive. It's hard. And I know it's not easy for the RBT. It is the hardest position that there is in the entire organization. It's the least compensated position in the entire organization. And for people like yourself, not only is that true, you've got a family and you're trying to go to school. The whole system seems ass backwards in my opinion, but at any rate,
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Destiny, wholeheartedly. And I know that everyone who is fortunate to work with you or chit chat with you or be around you feels the exact same way. I want to thank you for your time
Thank
hanging
you.
out with me today.
Okay.
The things that you said are meaningful and they're true, the successes and the challenges. And I'm a firm believer that you're a great model of achievement and compassion that is absolutely central to the things that I personally believe in, and that your team members and everyone else around is thankful it, you know, exists here. So kudos to you,
Thank
Destiny.
you.
You are an exceptional human being, and I cannot wait to be able to meet up with you again and see all the fortune in many different ways that are surrounding your life as things come to you. You've earned it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
High five, my friend. Keep up the good work, and I'm always here if you need anything, okay?
Thank you.
All right, have some fun.
All right. Have a good day, Brian.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.